Hello everyone and welcome to the third and last episode of living with a $50 smartwatch that I got from Amazon. I'm very new to this vlogging thing and it was supposed to be a 2-day thing. However, I had some problems yesterday and my MacBook's in service, so I had to extend it one more day and here I am. Also, I'll be recording the whole thing on Windows instead of OS X, so it's going to be a little bit different for me. We'll see that after. Alright, so the first things first, sleep tracking. After first night, I said that the sleep tracking feature wasn't super accurate. However, the following 2 nights, it was actually super accurate. It said that the first night I slept for 5 hours and 40 minutes, and the second night it said that I slept for around 7 hours, which is quite accurate. And it also divides your sleep in 2, deep sleep and light sleep, and I think it's quite accurate. It does it by checking your movements and your heart rate data. You can see all this data in the H-band app. It tells you everything, including your movement data, how much you were moving, your heart rate, etc, etc. It also syncs everything with the health app. If you're into that, personally I am. I said that the last time, so it's perfect for me. Again, before I went to bed, I turned off all the notifications. You can do it on the H-band app. You can also do it on the watch, but it takes some time as you have to do it one by one. One more thing you have to turn off before you go to bed is the disconnect from phone feature, as I realized that the iPhone actually kills the app in the background, so the watch thinks that it got disconnected from the phone, so it sends you a notification. In order to avoid that, you should turn this off before you go to bed. One more thing I do before I go to bed, I turn on the low power mode option, which apparently does a couple of things. We'll talk about it in a couple of minutes. One more useful feature is the morning alarms. You can set as many alarms as you want. You can make it weekly. You can just turn it on like Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, however you want. I'm pretty sure this is also a feature on the Apple Watch, but it's less useful as its battery will die overnight or it won't last you 2 days. On my iPhone, I actually have quite a lot of alarms. I also have a couple of alarms on my HomePod. They start at 6:45, they go till 8:10. I have to be in school at 8:35, so I have to leave home around like 8:15. This watch actually wakes me up at 7. It gives you such a strong vibration that you have to wake up, you have to do something. In order to disarm the alarm, you either touch the screen or press the button on the side and the alarm disappears. So I think this is quite useful for me. I will definitely be using it even if I keep using my Apple Watch. I'll just swap watches at night. I'll keep this on overnight because it also tells me how much I sleep and I can track my sleep. 2 nights ago, I actually slept for 5 hours and yesterday I was all tired. So it's actually good for you. You can adjust your sleep schedule a little bit. You can go to bed earlier or later as you wish. All right. As I said earlier, the app is very useful. It's called H-band. It's available on App Store and Google Play. One quick thing is that it's not made by a company, but a person. So especially on Android, it might be a bigger problem because on Google Play Store, the verification process isn't as detailed as the one on App Store for Apple devices. So I don't worry that much personally because I use this on my iPhone, but if you're an Android, you might want to be a little bit careful with what permissions you give it. With that being said, let's talk about the app itself. It's actually quite useful. It lets you change quite a lot of settings, including the notifications. As I said, you can turn off all the notifications instead of doing it one by one on the watch. You can change the brightness. You can do it on the watch as well, but it's just easier on the app because on the watch, it's a little bit more complicated, especially on a smaller screen. There are also some settings that you can change on the watch. One of them is the sensitivity of raise to wake. That was a lifesaver for me because the default setting just didn't work out for me. As I said in the previous episodes, I would have to press the button, but now it's at the maximum setting and it works pretty well for me. Also, as I said earlier, there's a low power mode and it does 3 things. I'm just going to read them off my screen. Turning the wrist, brightening time is shorter. This is quite understandable. Message notification brightening time is shorter, also understandable. Third one, the message informs that the earthquake is weakened. So this one I don't quite know what it means. I think it has something to do with the vibration. It probably gets weaker, but I didn't really feel a difference because it's still quite strong actually. I think that's pretty much the only part in the app where there's a translation error. It's still acceptable, could be fixed in a later update, I don't know. There's also a take photo option. Well, this exists on the Apple Watch as well, but it's quite different. On the Apple Watch, it's an app on its own, and you get to see what you're actually recording. It was quite useful for me because I used to shoot with my iPhone and I could actually see what I was recording. On this, however, you only get a photo icon and that only lets you take a picture. Also, it doesn't use the vanilla camera app. It uses its own app. It's actually built into the H-band app. so I think you lose some image quality. I'll do a full comparison video between this watch and the Apple Watch, as well as a real review of this watch pretty soon, I'd say. But for now, this is all I can say. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing, and I really hope I'll see you all next time.